Please welcome to our stage our poet today, Chee Brossy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here and for inviting me. This is really a great event. It's my first time being here, experiencing it all, and really great musicians here with Connor and Esther. And I'm just really happy to be in their company reading. And my name is Chee Brossy, and I'm from Lucachuca, Arizona. I'm Diné, Navajo, but now I live in Santa Fe, and I'm studying in graduate school there, creative writing. And I'm going to read two poems for you. These are prose poems. And I really like that are going after music, because I think that poetry draws a lot from music and rhythm and sound and creating image. So this is called El Volcan, and it's about my time in college, where I spent a few months in Mexico. When you have come a long way, fighting for your life, hungering for something the world cannot give, I lie awake mornings, this morning in a strange home. Does it matter? A mistress or my own, but no, it is in Mexico, this strange place full of street children with rotted smiles and bus fare kindness, strange candy boxes beneath the glass at the tiendas, the volcano rising above all to smoke, rumbling, searching us out, reminding when we look up of significance, smoky skies and belching camiones. What worries you here? But I am in bed, listening. The gas man drives by with his tank standing at attention, slowing down in his troca to yell up my window, El gas, and blow his horn, which changes into a strangely upbeat jingle of hoots, as though jungle birds had come to laugh at us, show us their bright feathers. In my too small bed I stretch diagonally and miss my home in the Tsaili high country, where the pines whistle with wind, bend as though underwater. But somehow you can do both, miss and love the new country, old country, with its history of violence like ours, its Indians brown-skinned like I am, becoming in this winter of sun. La Malinche, they say, betrayed them, a beauty of a woman, but strangeness is attractive, I've found. Our black Americans are their Adonises, and women flock to them in the nightclubs north of Puebla, eager for their skin and hair, exotico, as our professor says. But that was last night. Now I'm in bed listening in this dark house full of memories and old lives, and small windows. Dark, the anthropologist explains, because they are Aztecan, Mayan, in their blood, and those houses are, yes, just like that, made out of mud and stone. Look, he says, at this one. Do you see windows here? He is Mexican too, ladies' man, white beard, but young woman on his arm when we eat in our restaurant, wonderfully austere and baroque, the Day F.A., somewhere off the famous plaza with its roundabout, statues, flags, pedestrians. Something about getting away from myself, lying here, searching achingly, alone, trying to tell you something about living, about countries, about the driver with the crucifix over his seat, every driver, every crucifix, and the little boys who assist them with counting fare. But El Gas blares and blares in my ear, out my window. Someone opened the door, chased them away too early. The volcano stares in at me, saying the sun is up, you know, shining, sending down, you know. You need water splashed on your face, you know the sun is up. Thank you. I think this is the first time people have paid to hear me read. The second and last poem is called Burnt Water. It's also a prose poem, and prose poems are built on the rhythm of language in the sentence. And I'm inspired a lot by Robert Hass and the way he works with prose poems, and also Sherwin Bitsui, a Navajo poet who's very lyrical. This is called Burnt Water, and it's from a time I spent when I was in college in New Hampshire. I was really feeling kind of homesick, and I came back home for a semester, and I spent it living with my grandfather. The Hopis rode through here, built a fire from the oak and scrubbed cedar by the water, The stream or pool, now they call it burnt water. Old women cooking around a fire. My great-grandmother cooked in the summer, sitting, her knees on the ground, skirt spreading out, steel grill laid over an open fire, in shade house, bits of dough crusting her fingers. Now a young woman cooks potatoes over a blue flame on a stove in her city apartment. Doha doha, before you light the acetylene torch to imagine flame on to imagine fire shot from the sky, my grandfather says, before soldering bezel to silver bracelet, loved one, then sealing copper tubing with the same torch where the waters leak, busted frozen last night. I say, I don't know how to light a fire. Tightly wound nylon holds the gas when I work it now over a large piece, but the solder doesn't flow. The metal blackens. The thatched roof has caught spark, my love. When I call my grandfather Chee, he answers, hello, Chee. We share the name. Blackest metal, driest winter, swing the sun low behind glass windows, bottle green sculptures. I taped him, set the tape recorder between us on the table, loved one. Do you understand? The red light to catch every inflection, throat-clearing gravel. He said, my uncle killed a man, the train tracks in winter. Another tribe or white man brought his pistol. Train stopped for the night. He had to pay or he had to run. I don't know how he came to the ceremonies after that, from the police or from the killing. I'd see his face in the spring firelight as pairs of men and women danced the slow step around the fire wrapped in blankets. The men wearing cowboy hats tilted up off their right ears so they could lean their heads close to the women. My uncle watched without watching, sang without singing. He said, she jumped off the cliff, ran and jumped off the cliff. One soldier leapt from his horse to stop her, my great-grandmother said. We called her Nikki, mother. To round us up, set fire to our squash and melon fields, smoke and ash like a summer fire, but bitter in your heart. They found us, campfire morning, eating in the low pinon, surrounded on horseback, blue coats and brass buttons. Father shot first, snapping his neck, bullet through forehead. She points, then fleeing rifle fire, everyone dead and crying. Only my little mother and I, brisk spring morning air, cold in my throat, cold and alive. We had almost made it to the canyon and shelter. Pine sap sticks to your teeth and you taste its mint in every meal. So they are the same food. Cornmeal, prairie dog, yellow gourd. Use a strand of hair to pull pieces from crevices in your molars. Birds sing, flit from tree to tree ahead of you as though it were any day. Come to the canyon's edge with the soldiers dragging us tied with rope. She breaks free. Where is the order of the sun? Indifferent meaning beats down on us. She is fluid in these last steps. The trees melting into rock at the edge and leaps. The sun is too bright, everything flat and hard, but she floats out. I miss her already. My little mother had stopped crying hours before she ran. I only heard my own tears, now down. The sun's cords touching the rock at the edge, and she was gone. He said, we met at the Indian school, a dry Nevada with dry mountains, where I make jewelry and signs high up on scaffolding, red paint on the window pane, shirt sleeves ripped off for dexterity, yellow billboards on Route 66. The road goes on forever, just like you said. But Nevada I can't see anymore. Like my eye has cracked, Nevada has fallen through every way I look. 6 children so they could play with each other, girls and one boy. In Flagstaff, I see racism course through the coffee shops and schools. My brother opened a jewelry supply downtown. A prayer mountain on the north side, Doko Sleed, we call it. They made their own games, drew them on cardboard, and I said I'd paint them. The winters would have our truck spinning. I do not know what to say to my children. The road is hungry no matter how many signs you paint or politicians you work for, but their visions shouted in fists broken on mobs of our own people. Marriage is hard, but that doesn't matter. Back to Gallup, always inching closer to home, but never reaching it. We did it for you, is what I say. Place with the big stone chimney they call Gamerco. So many places we lived, but always you children played. Where did you play? Where did you play? Turn off the tape, turn off the tape, turn off. To play in the mist, this is the most important thing. The house we sit in is a hogan attached to a 4-walled home. Old magazines from the 80s and 90s on the bottom shelves. old Western movie videotapes under the TV in faded cardboard sleeves. If you drive north of the house on a dirt road over the rolling hills of pinyon trees, sagebrush, and tea, get down from your truck and walk west over low cacti. The earth is sandy, almost like the ocean's edge, and water used to cover us. You can still find white shells. You will find burnt water, grove of trees and cedars, yellow sandstone emerging from the loose earth in places where the Hopis camped and let their horses drink. But in the house, in the hogan where the skylight sobbed, sun mid-morning, my grandfather cries and wipes tears from his face. His fingers look strange, old and out of place against the face he rubs every morning to clear his eyes. I click the machine between us on the table slow, but the echo of a gunshot and a wait. We'll stop here today. To the south, the freeway rumbles, trucks haul refrigerators and pipes. On the windowsill, the metal stamps and thin brushes sprout from rusted cans. It's cold. Even with the sun shining through the skylight, I'll have to build a fire.